Welcome back to Speducation. I am your host, Brandon Reed, and as always, if this is your first time to the channel, a special welcome to you. Well, it's a new week and we have a new lesson. What is it? Well, let's find out. Today's lesson, text-to-speech versus speech-to-text. Now, in the past couple of weeks, we've been taking a break from accommodations because there was a new story that I wanted to go over that related to parent rights. However, we're going to go back to accommodations. And we've actually talked a little bit about text-to-speech when we talked about read aloud. So today we're going to look at the difference between text-to-speech and speech-to-text. So, text-to-speech is when text is read to you through either an online component, software, or device. Speech-to-text is when you speak into a device such as a microphone or computer, and the computer then types out what you say. So as I said, we've talked a little bit about text-to-speech because we've talked about that in read aloud, but speech-to-text we haven't really covered too much. So let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of speech-to-text. Vikram Nahal, a special education teacher in Northern California, found that speech-to-text technology helped his special needs students greatly. Speech-to-text technology allowed them to more easily transfer their ideas onto the page. This especially helped his students with ADHD and processing-related disabilities, such as auditory processing disorders or working memory deficits. In addition, a study was conducted on speech-to-text and its relation to education. The study is very in-depth, but one of the added benefits it found was the following. The discrete speech and continuous speech groups showed significant gains on reading comprehension and word recognition after 16 weeks, while significant gains in spelling were found only for the discrete speech condition. Some other benefits of speech-to-text is it helps students raise their self-esteem and their confidence level. One of the things that I noticed as a special ed teacher is that a lot of special ed students didn't want to participate because they didn't have confidence in their ability to talk. But with speech-to-text, it develops that self-esteem and builds that confidence so that they feel more comfortable participating in class. Another way that it benefits students is getting their ideas out on paper. Sometimes, especially with ADHD students, it's hard for them to focus and to accurately write down all of the ideas that they have. Whereas with speech-to-text, they can speak those ideas and it gets it out on paper. It also reduces fatigue. A lot of students, including my son, have difficulties with writing things down, especially long paragraphs. But when they don't have to do that and they can just speak, then the text can be written for them. It also helps raise their interest in reading and writing activities because by allowing them to build that confidence, allowing them to get their ideas out, and it reduces fatigue, they're more likely to enjoy reading and writing classes. But there are some disadvantages. Some of the disadvantages of speech-to-text include it can stifle the practice of handwriting, something that we try to practice and try to teach, especially in the younger grades. It does not always do well with recognizing speech patterns. It can cause anxiety, especially if they are in a room with others using the software because they might feel self-conscious about the way they talk. It can be noisy, which can be a barrier for those that have auditory issues like loud noises. It's also reported that disadvantages include that SST did not work for pupils with indistinct speech patterns. So, speech-to-text can be beneficial to students, but there are some disadvantages. That's why I always say that it's always important for you and your case conference committee to determine what appropriate accommodations your specific child needs. So, if you liked what you saw, you found it interesting, or you're new to the channel, please click that like button. And if you want updates on future videos, feel free to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for updates on future videos. And as always, if you have questions or concerns, or there's a specific topic in special education that you're interested in and you want me to go over, please drop a line in the comments section and I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, Class dismissed.